Just trying something. If you can now hear music over the top of what I'm saying, then it's just a problem with the beginning. If you can't hear music now, then yeah, Legends, you may have to have your song retired. That's all I can say. I'm just gonna let me just. If you heard it, then it's fine. If not, then you didn't. I'm just gonna flick it over. This might flick. There we go. Right, it's turned off now. So yeah, if you heard it, you heard it. If you didn't, well, then unfortunately, it looks like the Legends may have to retire their song at the start of the quiz. Anyway, right, welcome along. It is Saturday, the 5th of August. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you're all well. We'll get started in just under a minute's time. Saturdays are always a bit quicker just because yeah, Saturdays are always a bit quicker, just for the way that things work out here on a Saturday. So yeah, hello to everyone. Hope you're well. Hope you're all good. Tonight is night 2 of the August Takeover. Tonight there are 5 rounds. No, there's not. There are 5 rounds, 5 individual rounds supplied by people, fully credited to them. But also the bits in the break as well are also supplied by you guys as well. So very much looking forward to that. All I've had to do is put it all together tonight, which has been quite nice. I can't hear music over you. Well, there we go. So that kind of confirms the point that I've been waiting for. Owing to the message I had a couple of weeks ago. So, I'll have a look at that during the week. But yeah, unfortunately, Legends, it may be time for you guys to unfortunately retire your song from the beginning of the quiz. Otherwise, it will just be silence at the beginning, which doesn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, as always, so 50 questions tonight. We've got some interesting rounds tonight for you. I've not got in front of me. Entertainment will kick us off. There's a bit of art and literature this evening. A brilliant round that was written by, a brilliant idea for a round that was written by Sir of the Bill of the Tutors from the YouTube live chat Legends. So thank you for that. There's a connections round, which I believe might be some, also by pure chance, didn't know this when I put this together. It could be for someone's birthday as well. I've shuffled everything in, and it could actually end up being on their birthday. So we'll get to that in a little while. Anyway, let's move on. Let's get on with it this evening. Welcome along. It is Saturday, the 5th of August. Thank you very much for joining us. 50 questions then in front of us, and 2 things for your usual Saturday breaks. We're kicking off, as we always do, then with entertainment. I say as we always do. We did a picture round on Thursday, but we'll just gloss over that. We're kicking off, as we usually do, with an entertainment round, and credit to this one goes to Mr. Tim Coleman. Thank you very much for this, Tim. Brilliant questions in here. The only thing I've done, because Tim will probably be watching this and notice, because obviously he sent them in, all I've done, Tim, is I've just flipped the questions round. So your question number 1 becomes question number 10, and vice versa. That's the only thing I've done. For the rest of you, you won't notice anything different, but just wanted to make sure Tim was aware of that. Let's get into it then. Your first question then this evening. Here's question number 1. Which singer had hits with the following songs? Congratulations, Living Dole and Mistletoe and Wine. Good evening to the Jaders as well, if you're around, your best mate. So it's singer, it's with the following songs. Congratulations, Living Doll, Mistletoe and Wine. Number 2, name the song from the lyrics. You once thought of me as a white knight on his steed. Now you know how happy I can be. So name the song from the lyrics. You once thought of me as a white knight on his steed. Now you know how happy I can be. Number 3, what is the name of the bus inspector played by Steve? Hang on. So I've not edited these. Hang on. S-T-E. I have no cursor on this screen. There we go. What is the name of the bus inspector played by Stephen Lewis in the TV show On the Buses? Just to clarify, Ben, if I'm not sat on the top table, then it kind of, I should be just to the left or the right of the bride or groom, just to clarify. Been invited to a wedding and they're joking about how I'm only been invited. One of them. Never mind. Number 4, what city is the soap opera Hollyoaks set in? So yeah, if I'm not sat on the top table, it's a bit disappointing. Number 5. What is the title of the children's TV show narrated by Alexander Armstrong, featuring the adventures of the Squirrel Club? Jack used to like this. And no, I'm not going to get him to help you. He's currently having a sleepover downstairs with Sarah. Number 6. Who plays Geordie Keating in the TV show Grantchester? So who plays Geordie Keating in the TV show Grantchester? Number 7. Chato Santana is the real name of which DC comic book villain? So Chato Santana is the real name of which DC comic book villain? I went a completely different route with that. Oh no! Now I've got half a quote in my head, and I don't know where it's come from because I can't remember the name of the person. It's like, my name is Pablo Montoya, and I da 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 da. Yeah, I can't remember the. My name is Pablo Montoya. That quote's going to annoy me now. I don't even know if Pablo Montoya is the right name. Number 8. What was the name of the Tim the Toolman Taylor's assistant on the TV show Tool Time, featuring on the TV show Home Improvement? So what was the name of Tim the Toolman Taylor's assistant on the TV show Tool Time, featuring on the TV show Home Improvement? Zorro. Now, I've never seen Zorro. So could it be that the quote is from a different... It's the quote from Zorro, but I've seen it in a TV... How I Met Your Mother. That's where I've... Oh, my brain. Right, I need... Yeah. If you've ever seen How I Met Your Mother, it's the scene where they're fighting with the swords, and it's like, my name is Pablo Montoya, and... Oh, no, yeah. Moving on. Number 9. What was the name of Miss Pumphrey's pampered Pekingese in the original series of All Creatures Great and Small? So what was the name of Mrs. Pumphrey's pampered Pekingese in the original series of All Creatures Great and Small? It is. It's that scene from How I Met Your Mother. I'm missing it. And finally, number 10. What is the title of the animated movie starring Adam Sandler? Voicing characters included Davy Stone, Whitey Duvall, and Deer. That's the quote, Becky, but I've not, it's out of context, and I'm sure I've heard it in something else. My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to... Yeah, that's the quote. Right. It's from The Princess Bride. I've never watched Princess Bride either. Right, moving on, round 2 then. This is all about... It was labelled originally as an art and literature round until I read the rest of the email. It's an authors and pen names. So this is all about authors and their pen names in certain things. This comes from Jill from the wonderful Barry Bados, but I already know this is Jill from the YouTube live chat legends. So thank you very much for this. Yeah, so it does what it says on the tin for this. Yeah, let's go with it. Number 1. George Orwell was a 20th century author, famous for 1984 and Animal Farm. He took his pen name from the River Orwell, but what was his real name? So George Orwell was a 20th century author famous for 1984 and Animal Farm. He took his pen name from the River Orwell, but what was his real name? Problem is, right, that wasn't even a quote in that round, right? And now I've got everyone trying to work out what I was going on about. My name is Ingio Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. And now that's probably everyone. A lot of you. Number two, Charles Dickens, famous for his portrayal of Victorian life, wrote. Start again. Charles Dickens, famous for his portrayal of Victorian life, wrote sketches for periodicals under which pen name? Jill's written these questions, and I absolutely love the fact that you've made sure that people know who we're talking about as well, which I thought was quite. Because I would have just gone, Charles Dickens wrote sketches, etc. But you've made sure that people know it's that Charles Dickens we're talking about. Number three, what very popular modern author uses the name of Robert Galbraith when writing novels that appeal to an older audience? So, what very popular modern author uses the name of Robert Galbraith when writing novels that appeal to an older audience? Number four, Samuel Langhorne. Start again. Samuel Langhorne Clemens was an American author known for his tales of life on the Mississippi. But under what name did he write his most famous book? By the way, right, I've been sent in for this August Takeover 7 art and literature rounds. So just so seems to be one of when I put them all together, it's one of the more popular rounds that people want. And I haven't even got through the rest of them yet. I've still got some emails to send out to those who have applied since Monday, I think it was. Number five, in 1846, a crack commando unit was sent to. No, wrong one. In 1846, three siblings published novels under the names of Currer, Ellis, and Acton Bell. But what real names were they hiding? So I can't think of anything but the A team now. In 1846, three siblings published novels under the names of Currer, Ellis, and Acton Bell. What real names were they hiding? Number six, Mary Westmacott wrote novels and plays in the 30s to 50s. These were a different genre to her regular fiction. What prolific author name? Start again. Oh, come on. Mary Westmacott wrote novels and plays in the 30s to 50s. These were a different genre to her regular fiction, but what prolific author used this pen name? The other great thing with this round, right, and I know the answers, is if you're not sure, think of a famous author, and they're in this round, just so you know. Yeah, it's basically what a quiz is. Number seven, Charles Ludwig Dodgson was the real name of the mathematician and author whose stories were brought to the big screen by Tim Burton. So Charles Ludwig Dodgson was the real name of the mathematician and author whose stories were brought to the big screen by Tim Burton. Number 8, the name Richard Bachman was adopted by a prolific modern author when he wrote a series of short novels that were even darker than his usual style. By what name is he more well known? How can he get more darker than his usual style? Number 9, John Le Carre is a famous name in the world of espionage fiction. He chose a pen name because Foreign Office staff were forbidden from publishing in their own names. But what was his real name? I can't remember this one. I didn't know, but I can't remember now. So John Le Carre is a famous name in the world of espionage fiction. He chose a pen name because Foreign Office staff were forbidden from publishing in their own names. What was his real name? And finally, number 10, right up to date, Erica Leonard. Right up to date, Erica Leonard, nee Mitchell, has written a series of spicy novels that were quickly turned into films. What name does she write as? This partly came up as a question on Tuesday night at the quiz, and I was fastest in there to get it right, and everyone on the table and everyone in the room looked and assumed it was the female who was on our team. They got it right, and they looked at me and sort of pointed in my direction. I went, yeah, and okay, final round then, and we'll take a short break. Now, this comes from Sir of the Bill of the Tutors. This is called Alpha Link, and it's not an idea for a round that I'd thought of, but it's very, very clever. Think of it as 10 general knowledge questions, but where, like before, I've done things like last letter, first letter, etc., stuff like that. The answers are in alphabetical order. Okay, but I'm not going to tell you what the starting point for it is. So it could be that, what is the first letter of the alphabet, and A is the first answer. Then question 2 would begin with B, question 3 would begin with C, etc. Or it could start at G and then H, I, J, etc. So they're 10 general knowledge questions, simple general knowledge questions, but they're in alphabetical order. There you go. Quite like this. It's a clever idea from Bill, and I quite like this when I saw it come through. Let's start with this. Let's start with this. Number 1. In music, what is an eighth note called? So in music, what is an eighth note called? Number 2, what is the name of Queen's drummer? What is the name of, not the Queen, because she's sadly no longer with us, the band Queen. What is the name of Queen, the band's drummer? Number 3, how many bottles of wine are there in a Balthazar? So there we go. It's a clever way of, working your way down. So if you know what the first 2 are, you know the alphabetical order, and then you know what this begins with. I like it. It's clever. Number 4, which chat show host recorded the floral dance? The now Chris Moyles imitation of this person is now in my head. Number 5, what is the 7th planet from the sun? Number 6, which queen reigned from 1837 to 1901? The year, not the time. I mean, let's be honest, something has really got to go wrong if you've just, if you've ascended the throne at 6:37 in the evening and by 7:01 you're already off the throne. Number 7, who introduced tobacco to England? Who introduced tobacco to England? Number 8, what is a percussion instrument made of wooden bars? So what is a percussion instrument made of wooden bars? Number 9, where is the longest pier in the world? Disappointingly, it's not Southend. And finally, question number 10. Who is the South African female athlete known to run barefoot? So who is the South African female athlete known to run barefoot? Brilliant. Oh, someone's just sent a message 5 minutes ago saying, your questions aren't up on your website. I know, it's because I've not finished them yet. Anyway, right, they're up now. jvpqquestions.com. That person won't be watching because clearly they're not. Yes, they're up now, jvpqquestions.com. I'll stick a link up in a minute. So yeah, head on over there if you need a recap. Right, Suzanne has given us the... Oh, let me give myself set up. That off, that on, that off. There we go. This has come from Suzanne. I think this was some of the rounds that have come through. I know I didn't actually ask for any for the breaks, but some of these I think that people have sent in, I've kind of looked at them and gone, actually these will be better for going in the breaks and stuff on a Saturday. So thanks to Suzanne for these. Now I did this quite a while ago. It's probably about 12 months ago last time I did this on a Saturday break. But it's matched these toys to the year they were listed as the best selling. However, there are some different ones in here that Suzanne has found, and I made mine not quite tricky in places where I put a lot of years side by side. So 10 toys, 10 years side by side. All you need to do is match the toy to the year that they were the best selling toy, and I will see you in 7 minutes. Looking at completely the wrong screen. Right. That's off. Okay. Give the answer to these then in just a moment. Put your last answers down. Thank you again to Suzanne for sending these in. I thought this was a bit of a... Would have been very tricky to do as like a Thursday or a Saturday main round. But it's great for the breaks because it gives you, you've got 7 minutes to try and draw a line between all of them. Okay, right. Let's change them round in 3, 2, 1. And there we go. Let me just move myself back down there because there's no sense me being up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, wrong way. Just get tickle me on my knife gun. Monopoly. 1935. There we go. Right, so from the top there, Mr. Potato Head was 1952. Rubik's Cube, 1980. The Game Boy was 1989. Etch-a-Sketch was released in 1990. Tickle Me Elmo was 1996. It's a good point, Suzanne. You put the same answer for 2 of them, so I did have to just go in and double check which one was which. But I tweaked them. So Tickle Me Elmo was 1996. Nerf Gun was 2012. Not a board game not many people have heard of called Monopoly was 1935. Tamagotchi 1997. Nintendo DS was 2004. And Juju Pets was in 2009. There you go. So that is your first break this evening. There's a picture round coming up a bit later on for your second break as well. Right, get your other answer sheets together for the first 30 questions this evening. Okie dokie. Right, here we go then. Let's give you the answers then to these. We kicked off with entertainment. Oh, I've not put them on these. Hang on. It helps if you're on the right screen sometimes. So it gives you a bit more time to get your things together. I don't know why I'm singing as I am. Yeah, thank you to Tom for this one. Right, here we go. Entertainment then. Number 1, which singer had hits with the following songs? Congratulations, Living Doll and Mistletoe and Wine. According to Tom, it's Cliff Bloody Richard. Apparently that's what his nan always used to call him. So yeah, Cliff Richard there for number 1. Number 2, name the song from the lyrics. You once thought of me as a white knight on his steed, and now you know how happy I can be. It's Daydream Believer. See, I only ever remember the lyrics to that is from very, very bad football chants, but we'll leave it there. Number 3, what is the name of the bus inspector played by Stephen Lewis on the TV show On the Buses? It's Inspector Blakey. Number 4, what city is the soap opera of Hollyoaks set in? It's Chester. Number 5, what is the title of the children's TV show narrated by Alexander Armstrong, featuring the adventures of the Squirrel Club? It was Hey Doggy. Number 6, who plays Geordie Keating in the TV show Grantchester? It's Robson Green. Number 7, Chateau Santana is the real name of which DC comic book villain? It's El Diablo. It's not even anything to do with the Princess Bride quote, but there you go. It just sent my brain onto a different planet. Number 8, what was the name of Tim the Toolman Taylor's assistant on the TV show Tool Time, featuring on the TV show Home Improvement? He was called Al Borland. If you just put Al, I'll give you the point. I don't mind that. I think most people will have known Al, but they might not have known Borland. Number 9, what was the name of Mrs. Pumphrey's pampered Pekingese in the original series of All Creatures Great and Small? It was Tricky Woo. That's going back some time. That's even before my time. And finally, number 10, what is the title of the animated movie starring Adam Sandler, voicing characters included Davy Stone, Witty Duval, and Deer? It is 8 Crazy Nights. Moving on to then authors and pen names. Number 1, George Orwell was the 20th. Thank you very much to Jill for this round as well. George Orwell was a 20th century author, famous for 1984 and Animal Farm. Excuse me. He took his pen name from the River Orwell, but what was his real name? It's Eric Arthur Blair. Number 2, Charles Dickens, famous for his portrayal of Victorian life, wrote sketches for which for periodicals under which name? It was Boz. Number 3, what very popular modern author uses the name of Robert Galbraith when writing novels that appeal to an older audience? It was J.K. Rowling. Number 4, Samuel Langhorne Clemens was an American author known for his tales of life on the Mississippi. Under what name did he write his most famous book? It's Mark Twain. Just going to shut that down for a minute because it's doing my head in. Number 5, in 1846, 3 siblings published novels under the names of Currer Ellis and Acton Bell. What real names were they hiding? It was Charlotte, Emily, and Anne Bronte. Number 6, Mary Westmacott wrote novels and plays in the 30s to 50s. These were a different genre to her regular fiction. What prolific author used this pen name? It was Agatha Christie. Number 7, Charles Ludwig Dodgson was the real name of the mathematician and author whose stories were brought to the big screen by Tim Burton. It was Lewis Carroll. I think Tim Burton there should have been a clue. Number 8, the name Richard Bachman was adopted by a prolific modern author when he wrote the series of short novels that were even darker than his usual style. He was better known as Stephen King. Not sure how he can get any darker than his normal stuff, but anyway. Number 9, oh yeah, John LeClaire is a famous name in the world of espionage fiction. His real name was Pebbles. No, it's not. Hang on. I've just realised what I've done there. I've not put the answer in. Oh, sorry if you are watching, David John. Thought that looked wrong earlier, but didn't question it. There you go, David John. Thought that looked wrong earlier. And finally, number 10, right up to date, Erica Leonard Nee Mitchell wrote a series of spicy novels. They were quickly turned into films. What name does she write as? It is E.L. James. And round 3 from Sir Bill Shooter, the Alpha Link. Number 1 in music, what is an 8th note called? It is quaver. So by logic, next letter should be R, which is Roger Taylor, being the name of Queen's drummer. And then it follows suit from there. So Q, then R. Then S, how many bottles of wine are there in a Balthazar? There are 16. On to T, which chat show host recorded the floral dance? It was Terry Wogan. Number 5, the 7th planet from the sun is Uranus. Number 6, which queen reigned from 1837 to 1901? It was Victoria. Number 7, who introduced tobacco to England? It was Walter Raleigh. Number 8, what is a percussion instrument made of wooden bars? It is the xylophone. Number 9, where is the longest pier in the world? It's the Yucatan. And finally, number 10, who is the South African female athlete known to run barefoot? It was Zola Budd. Okay, push the right button. There we go. Right, tell your scores up. Let us know how you're getting on so far. David John Cornwell, thank you very much. Yeah, I only had David John on that was sent over, so but then saying that I renamed them Pebbles anyway. Right, tell your scores up. Let us know how you're getting on. Still to come, a connections round and Jebron knowledge to finish off this evening. Okie dokie. I'm on the wrong screen. That one there. There we go. Right, I think that should be enough time for you guys to put your scores up together. So, thanks to Sue Johnson, who I believe it may be Sue's birthday. I'm not 100% sure. Just the way that just the way that I've put these together and where I've pulled the rounds and put them into different places. So I think it might be Sue's birthday. If it is beautiful timing, and it wasn't in any way, shape or form planned this because I set this all up on Tuesday. So happy birthday to you, Sue. Or it could be a completely different Sue Johnson. I don't know. But we'll say happy birthday anyway. So, as always, 9 questions. Question number 10, what links all of the answers together? Let's get into it then with this number 1. Whereabouts was Bruce Willis in relation to the boardwalk in the cover version of the song in 1987? So, whereabouts was Bruce Willis in relation to the boardwalk in the cover version of the song in 1987? Number 2, what does the fairy traditionally take from under a pillow during the night in exchange for money? So what does the fairy traditionally take from under a pillow during the night in exchange for money? In the multiverse, these fairies are getting arrested for breaking and entering in the middle of the night and... Number 3, in March this year, scouts at a litter pick discovered something stashed in a hedge in Kidderminster. Start again. In March this year, scouts in a litter pick discovered something stashed in a hedge in Kidderminster. Was it a bag of banknotes, a diamond necklace, or a gun? On that note, actually, talking of scouts, just want to send out all of our thoughts because there are some of our quiz players who are out there at the moment at the Big Scout Jamboree in South Korea. I haven't had a chance to read the full article, but all I saw was massive amounts of ambulances due to the heat have been sent out to the Jamboree at South Korea. So all of our thoughts go to everybody out there. But I know there's a few of our players, a few of our quiz players who will be playing tonight. I know they've got family and friends out there. So yeah, I hope all is well out there. I'll read it properly later on. Number 4, in 1987, a certain weatherman famously failed to predict a great storm, but what was his surname? So in 1987, a certain weatherman famously failed to predict a great storm, but what was his surname? Number 5, in the children's nursery rhyme, what did Little Bo Peep lose? I had that in a question a few years ago where I did a round a few years ago in the pub where I just had wrong answers only, and the idea was that you had to make, and they were all quite fair teams, but they had to make the other team laugh with their wrong answers to get the point. I cannot repeat some of the answers that were this, but that's why this question always sticks in my head. Number 6, what word goes before of Lords and of Commons in the name of 2 chambers in the London Parliament? So what word goes before of Lords and of Commons in the name of the 2 chambers in London Parliament? Terrain. Manchester Vic, I'm going to suggest. Oh, that's going all the way to Rochdale for a change. Number 7, if something is not cold, then it is what? If something is not cold, then it is what? Number 8, what C is a band strip or chain worn around the neck? Yeah. I'm not sure about that. I mean, this comes from me saying something, like wordings on questions, but I mean, yeah, in terms of the link, just put it into context of the links. There are a few C's that could be the answer for that, but in terms of the link, make sure you've got the right one. Number 9, the Germans call it a Wurst. What is it to us? So the Germans call it a Wurst, but what is it to us? And that's always question 10. What links all of the answers together? So we finish then tonight with some general knowledge. This comes from Keith and Pat. 10 questions from them for general knowledge. Starting then with this, number 1. Magnum PI. What were the names of Higgins to Doberman Pinschers? I'll give you... you name... If you... I'm trying to think how to do that. I don't want to give you half a point because that would be a bit silly. If you can name one of them, it's fine. I mean, I struggled with this and I knew Magnum PI. Number 2, in which band was Animal the drummer? So which band was Animal the drummer? Number 3, what is Postman Pat's surname? A question that I've used and confused people before. I like these. Some of these questions are not too dissimilar from ones I've used before, but I quite like this round. Number 4, what is Wilma Flintstone's maiden name? I didn't know this. This was a great question because it had me scratching my head for about 20 minutes this week. What is Wilma Flintstone's maiden name? Number 5, in which US state is the show Family Guy set? So in which US state is Family Guy set? Number 6, in Thunderbirds, what was Parker's first name? I thought his name was Parker, to be honest. Number 7, how is Barbara Millicent Roberts better known? So how is Barbara Millicent Roberts better known? Very topical. Number 8, who is Oscar Zorok? I knew I was going to have to pronounce this. Who is Oscar Zoroaster, Patrick Isaac, Norman Henkel, Emmanuel Ambrosio Diggs? What it says on the screen. My braces aren't going to allow for me to pronounce that again. Number 9, where would you expect to find Officer Edgar Mallory and Uncle Milburn Pennybags? And finally, number 10, in the UK edition of Cluedo, what is the name of the victim? 2 different names, one for America and one for the UK. So what was the name of the victim in the UK edition? Right, there we go. So let me push the button. It does not want to work. Questions will be up in a minute. Let me just tell you about this. So for your second break this evening, this comes from John Peck, one of the YouTube live chat legends. I saw this come through. Again, a little bit too niche for sort of a picture round for the main part of the quiz, but especially after Thursday. And the amount of people whinging at me about Thursday. But so these are 9 charities. John has edited the logo for them. So I'll pop the 9 charity logos up on screen, and that is it. Very, very simple. Name the charity. Simple as that. I'll see you in 7 minutes. move the microphone back to where it should be. I was in the middle of typing. Right, I'll give you another couple of seconds on these, and then I'll flick these over. Thanks to John for these, because he actually edited them himself. And the thing that I really did like about this is he not only did he sort of find 9, well, he actually found 10 charities because it was for a full round. But he's also put the charity in there that is probably the closest to my heart of all hearts of everything. Yes, I do have a heart. Some people think I don't. But anyway, right, let's flick these over then in 3, 2, 1 and give you the answers to these. Starting then. So, number 1, Great Ormond Street Hospital for number 1. Number 2, the Salvation Army. Number 3, Oxfam. Number 4, the British Heart Foundation. Number 5, yes, the charity that I am absolutely proud to be their ambassador. And to do all of the things that I do for them, it is the connection at St. Martin in the Fields. Oops. First time my phone's got off tonight. I didn't even realise it wasn't on silent. Number 6 is Cancer Research UK. Number 7 is Mind. Number 8, the RSPCA. And number 9, Lifeboats. Okay, right, answer sheets then at the ready. Let me just shuffle. Oh, no, I've grabbed the time. Honestly, if you could see what I have to do behind the scenes, right? Most places have, like, a producer and what have you, push all these buttons for them, but no, not me. It's just me pushing buttons, which is why it always breaks. Anyway, right. Yes, answer sheets at the ready for those. Hope you did well with those charities. There's very, very big charities in there, but like I said, thanks very much to John as well for putting that round together, but not only that, but also putting connection in there as well. And from my charity connection to the connections round. See what I did there? I'll get my coat. I'll turn lights off on the way out. Right, let's see how you did. Here we go. Connections round number 1. Whereabouts was Bruce Willis in relation to the boardwalk in the cover version of the song in 1987? It was under. Oh, I've never actually talked about this. I got a response from his, whether it was his agent or his family, but when obviously it was announced that he wasn't well, and he's been quite a big part of debate, shall we say, on this quiz, I got a response from him. I sent him a message saying, explaining him a little bit. And he was really, really sweet. They were really, really sweet and got back and said, thank you very much for getting in touch and we'll pass things on. All right. I never really talked about that. Remind myself. And number 2, what does the fairy traditionally take from under a pillow during the night in exchange for money? It is the tooth. Number 3, in March this year, scouts in a litter pick discovered something stashed in a hedge in Kidderminster. It was a gun. To be honest, this sounds like I'm attacking Kidderminster. I'm not. Doesn't really surprise me, because you've seen those magnet fishers videos on YouTube where they pull all sorts out of like rivers and stuff. It really, yeah, doesn't surprise me at all. So it gets worrying. Number 4, in 1987, a certain weatherman famously failed to predict a great storm. What was his surname? It was Fish. Number 5, in the children's nursery rhyme, what did Little Bo Peep lose? It was sheep. Number 6, what word goes before of Lords and of Commons in the names of the 2 chambers in the London Parliament? It was House, as in House of Commons, House of Lords. Number 7, if something is not cold, then it is hot, obviously. Well, no, actually, I say obviously, but it might not be. It could be lukewarm. It could be, yeah. Moving on. Number 8. What C is a band, strip, or chain worn around the neck? It is collar. Now, that works with, like, in terms of the connection round. If you've got the connection, you'll know why. But I did think about it, and it's, you could have chain. But then chain's in the... collar is the answer. Number 9. The Germans call it Wurst. What is it to us? It is sausage. And so, what links all the answers together? It is dog. Sorry, as in dog collar, sausage dog, etc., etc. So yeah, thank you very much to Sue Johnson for that. If it is the Sue Johnson whose birthday it is, happy birthday, Sue, again. Hope you've had an incredible, incredible day for that. I think you've got another connection round coming up later on in the month as well. So yeah, so I went with this one tonight. But yeah, happy birthday if it is your birthday today, Sue. Round 5 then, general knowledge. This came from Keith and Pat. In Magnum PI, what were the names of Higgins' 2 Doberman Pinschers? Zeus and Apollo. I'll give you a point for either, as long as you name one. Number 2, in which band was Animal the drummer? It was Electric Mayhem. It's actually Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem, but I'll give you Electric Mayhem because that's what they've put. So I'll give you that. Number 3, Postman Pat's surname is Clifton. Number 4, Wilma Flintstone's main name is Slaghoople. YouTube algorithms is going to have fun with me saying that, but there we go. Number 5, in which US state is Family Guy set? It is Rhode Island. Number 6, in Thunderbirds, what is Parker's first name? It's Aloysius. I thought he was just called Parker, or Mr. Parker, to be fair, but there you go. Number 7, how is Barbara Millicent Roberts better known? Barbie. I said very topical. Number 8, Oscar Zora is the Wizard of Oz. I'm not even attempting to say all that again because I've already split my lip once trying to say a question tonight. Number 9, where would you expect to find Officer Edgar Mallory and Uncle Milburn Pennybags? It's Monopoly. And finally, number 10, in the UK edition of Cluedo, what is the name of the victim? The victim is called Dr. Black. Shut that down, shut that down, shut that down, and shut that down. Right, so tot your scores up. Now, if you need a tie break, and I know some of you do play along with this just for fun anyway, which I think is very different. But anyway, right, this is a fact I came across this week. Not everyone's written a tie break, so I've had to pull these together myself. So number one. A tiebreak for tonight is a traditional chef's toque has how many folds? If you don't know what a traditional chef's toque is, it is a hat. So a traditional chef's toque has how many folds? Didn't know this. There is an exact number, and I did not know this. Came across this fact this week. Yes, so remember, nearest to this gets the point. Now, if you are one of those privileged people who do happen to know the answer to this, you might even be a chef. That could be it. If you still end up on the same score, remember the new rules are you play rock, paper, scissors. There you go. Fine. Okay, answer then to this. Remember, nearest to this gets the point in 3, 2, 1. 100. The traditional chef's toque hat has 100 folds. Now, the reason being, it was to show levels of experience, and the senior chef who's got the toque on would have 100. So there you go. That's what I remember from that article. There was a lot more in that article, but that's the basics I remember. But yeah, so a traditional chef's hat has 100 folds. If you've ended up on the same answer, which you probably have, because there might be some of you out there who know that, remember, rock, paper, scissors. Just play rock, paper, scissors. Don't do the lizard spot bit because it'll just get complicated. Right, there we go. That is it for this evening and for round 2 of our August Takeover. Lots more to come and various rounds and all sorts of rounds. Remember, these are all rounds written by you guys at home, and I've still got a load more people to get in contact with. So there'll be more different rounds coming through over this next month while I take a breather. I'm not going into the reasons why I'm taking a breather, but it's needed. So yeah, so you guys have written some incredible rounds that are coming up over the next few weeks. Lots more of these to come. There will be something for everyone. Yeah, I've seen some of the rounds, so there really will be something for everyone. Right, that's it from me. Let me know how you got on across socials, and I will see you all on Thursday. Next week, Thursday is live. Saturday is pre-recorded, even though we were supposed to be going to Kent for a few days, but there's a chance we might not be going to Kent now for personal reasons. So even though we might still be up in Darwin, next Saturday will still be pre-recorded. That is it from me then. I will see you next week. 2 more quizzes, as always. Usual times. See you later on. As always for me, take care. Stay safe.